Sliding or bifold doors. We're going to look today at the different options and help you narrow down the choices, looking at aesthetics, functionality and performance criteria. Looking at the aesthetic differences between bifolds and the sliding doors, the most obvious one is the number of mullions, so the vertical elements between the panels that you're going to get on a bifold system is many more than you can achieve with a sliding system. The mullions generally are thicker in a bifold system as well. So this is the Solarlux Line, which is an aluminium clad timber bifold, and here it's 146mm mullion thickness. With the Solarlux Highline and Ecoline, it's a lot slimmer at 99mm. But if we compare that to the Solarlux Cero sliding door, we've got a 34mm mullion, and also 34mm at the head, the sill and the jambs. So Cero gives you a really consistent frame thickness and many less mullions and divisions in the opening. Another good way where we can differentiate between Solarlux bifolds and Solarlux sliding doors is in height limitations. So with the bifold systems we can go up to about 3.5 meters or so, depending on the configuration. The width of the panel affects the weight of the panel. With Cero, however, Solarlux are able to manufacture that up to 6 meters tall, which would mean in a lot of scenarios we can emit horizontal steel and go straight to the eaves of the building, creating these absolutely huge openings. So thinking about mullion positions, with the Solarlux bifold systems we can generally go to between 1 meters and 1.1 meters in each panel width. So you tend to then split your opening width into 1 meter or so segments. When we look at panel widths in terms of Solarlux Cero though, we can go up to 4 meters for each sliding panel. So absolutely huge again, and up to 1 ton panel weight. One element of commonality between the Solarlux bifold system and Solarlux Cero sliders is the option to have opening corners. So you can have an internal or external opening corner where the sliding panes or bifolds move away from each other, creating really huge open spaces. With Cero, however, you've also got the option of glass-to-glass corners. So if you like the aesthetic of a really slim corner and with the shininess of glass, Cero would be the better option. So looking at the threshold options, with Solarlux Cero and the other Solarlux sliding door systems, you've got the option of having the floor completely level with the track, internally and externally. And then we have various drainage options to accommodate that. So drainage at the bottom, or that could be in the face as well, just depending on your external drainage system. In comparison, if we look at a bifold threshold, there's a much bigger difference between the internal and external position of the threshold, or vice versa if it was an inward opening bifold. You've also got options on how the drainage system works with the bifolds, and 3 or 4 different profile options. One of the aesthetic differences with the bifold systems from Solarlux is that we can have wood finishes. So on the inside of our Ecoline bifold here we've got spruce with a colourless finish, but you can equally change the species, so you could have oak or Meranti or one of several other finishes. Let's have a look at those now. With the Solarlux Woodline and Combiline products we can choose different species or colours of internal finish for the wood. So you could go for something quite traditional like a spruce or oaks or lots of different types of wood. So really matching the wood and finishes to your aspirations. The difference with Solarlux Cero is that it's not wood, it's an aluminium system. So it can be quite difficult to determine which surfaces are inside and outside from an aesthetic perspective. So generally with Solarlux Cero it will be the same colour inside and outside. From a functional perspective, bifolds can be really useful because you can have a lever latch handle on the master door, which means it's really easy to get in and out of the house. You can have a key on the outside, and then when you open them and you slide them back fully, you achieve a really wide, uninterrupted opening. Now that the door's open, you can see the main disadvantage of bifold doors in that you have to find space to park the open leaves. These can be quite wide depending on the number of panels that you've got and are generally quite deep, but an advantage with the Solarlux system is that we can choose an outward opening bifold like this one, so the doors park on the outside of the building, or an inward opening so the doors would park on the inside of the building. With the Solarlux Cero door, you've got multiple panes that can slide together or past one another, up to 3 tracks deep. The disadvantage though is that one pane is always going to be in the opening. Here in the showroom, our Cero door slides to the outer frame, but with Cero you've got the option of pocket sliding doors, so the sliding pane would carry on sliding past the edge into a pocket in the wall. The Solarlux Cero system is so incredibly capable in terms of the size limits. We can go up to 1 tonne per sliding pane. To assist with operating that sort of size of panel, we've got options for motorised operation with sort of home automation system integration, or just simple push buttons on a wall. And the motorised system is all fully integrated in the head of the door, so concealed and also serviceable. One consideration you might have if you're sliding door or bifolds on the first floor and perhaps you have a Juliet balcony is how to clean the outside of the glass. That can be really tricky with a sliding system, but with the Solarlux Bifold system, when it's inward opening, we actually have a cleaning function where we can disconnect the hinges and bring the doors inbound so that they can be cleaned. When we think about the performance aspects of the Solarlux Bifold system, we're actually achieving a really high level of air tightness. So they've got an air permeability rating of class 3. This is mainly due to the unique way that Solarlux gaskets interlock with each other, so that they pull in really tight and we can achieve very good levels of air tightness. One aspect where Solarlux Cero is incredibly high performance is in its resistance to wind load. It's got a rating of C5, which means that it's tested and certified to 2000 pascals wind resistance. This means that it's really suitable when we've got a huge amount of confidence in using it in any coastal location in the UK. So the main reason that we chose to partner with Solarlux at Ocker House is that we really believe in their product range and the certification and the way that it's constructed. We want to partner with brands that we really believe in and have the longevity to last decades, and that we can service and look after for our customers. We're only just starting to brush the surface here of the differences between bifolds and sliding doors. If you wanted to come and get hands-on with the products and meet us in person and talk through all the options, please feel free to reach out.